Hey guys, give me just a second. I'm trying to get a. Well, there we go. There we go. I hope everybody's doing well. I just have a break here, so I figured I'd come live to you guys. I've been working on paperwork literally all morning. Many of you guys know I've got a trial coming up on February 2nd, March 2nd, April 2nd. I don't know what time it is, but I'll get all those details later. Dawn, it's nice to see you. Mickey Shell, hey, my friend. Eeyore Blue, Tennessee babe, it's nice to see you. Busy Mama, Tammy Crimes, Melody, it's nice to see you. JH, Brenda Sue, good afternoon to everybody. Hey Peggy, Denise, it's nice to see you. So as you guys start rolling in, Melanie, it's nice to see you. Stephanie, Cece, hey guys, it's nice to see you. Twitch, it's nice to see you. Delilah isn't behind my body like she was this morning, but she's still behind. I mean, she's not over my shoulder, but she's still right here. You can't see her because of the green screen, but there she is, right there. There's one of her ears. Here's one of her ears. She's right here, snuggled up to me. And then I've got to leave her. No. Hindsight, nice to see you. Michelle, Karma's mom, it's nice to see you. Betsy, it's nice to see you. Monica, Dawn, Natalie, it's nice to see you. Harold, hey. Prayer Warrior, Cheryl, Betty fan. Nice to see you all here. As you guys know from this morning's live, I'm not getting into the drama. I don't care for it. People can make their money off drama if they so choose. That is not the focus of this channel. This channel is focused on Sebastian Rogers and other victims of crimes, and there's not really a whole lot of room in that for BS. There's just not. If that means our channel has to suffer or get less clicks and less views, less money, that's all. That doesn't matter to me. It never has mattered to me. Many don't realize that I sold a lot of stuff when we first started advocating for children and people. I sold a truck. I've done everything I can possibly do here to make sure that this is about victims and victim focus. I was drug into drama and BS for 3 years. It's never going to change. These people are, they act like they have education. The ones that start defecting are usually, there's a mental element associated with it, and or a drug element associated. It's one or the other. And so we have a situation where people believe that their feelings trump a missing boy. That's not going to be the statements of this channel. That's not going to be what we focus on. For all those that are out there that can and have the opportunity to complain, well, God bless you. I'm glad you have that opportunity to bitch, moan, and groan about every problem and how mad and bad everybody is and how you're being excluded and how you're being picked on. Meanwhile, nobody even knows that this child has eaten. Nobody even knows that this child right here is being abused. So for all of those people out there that think that this is about them or their reputation or them, it's not. And if you think it is, you're in the wrong profession. Just my humble opinion. If when you're dealing with a case and you turn it around and make it about yourself, you're done. You no longer exist in my world. Period. No longer. And that's what we see happen time and time again. I see Mr. and Mrs. Car Guy up in the house. It's nice to see you. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. We've got a few things that some people had sent me. I wanted to tell Mrs. E, thank you for sending me. I didn't get a chance to respond, but I saw it come in and I will review it. But a Crystal Rogers update, thank you for that. And Auntie E wanted to make sure that I got that for Crystal Rogers' case. So that's what it's all about. You know, they know that this is a case that I'm involved in. They saw something that I didn't see and they sent it to me. And that's what true crime content creators should be doing behind the scenes, in my opinion. But we do have some information. Oops, that's the wrong one. Hold on, I've got something starred here. Where is it? Maybe it's this one. Here's one. This is an update. Oh. So one of our audience members wanted me to do a show. Her name's Autumn Bushman. Now, she is a 10-year-old girl, and I think this goes right into the, not wanting to get involved in stuff. Now, it is my absolute 100% belief that a lot of children bully other children because a few things. They need to feel powerful because they're not getting the attention that they need in their house. Their parents are exhibiting the same behaviors. There's a whole host, lack of discipline. There's a whole host that provides ways for kids to bully other kids. 10 years old. 10 years old. Where are the teachers? Where are the parents? Where? Because I am getting sick and tired of children losing their life because they can't take bullying anymore. Who at 10 years old is getting effing bullied? And if your child is the one doing it, you deserve to have your ass whooped, not your child. We do not have control over our children, but we can lead by example. And when you see the behaviors of that, you can take corrective measures. I watched on Twitter a boy literally he was sitting there minding his own business, and some kid came up and slapped out of his chair in school while everyone was laughing. Let me tell you, teachers and you parents, a little something, something. It's time for you to do your damn job. And if you're not doing your damn job, you need to be fired. Or have your child in the Department of Children and Family Services, in the judicial department, whatever that is, that child jail. And you know who else needs to be right along with them? Their parents. I know. I was a bad kid. I had, my house was rocky, but my mama was a blessing in my life. My mama is a good woman that's been through a lot of bull crap. I never bullied people in school. I have never, nobody can ever say I bullied people. I've seen some girls bully people, and as I am today is exactly how I was in high school. And I walked up to them and did the right thing, opened my mouth and said, "What in the world are you doing? Do you not realize she doesn't understand?" Would you like me to embarrass you like you're doing this lady? Because that's what it takes in school as well. I've never just been like this all of a sudden one day I wake up and I'm just this person. I have always stood on my convictions, even when I was out there in the streets. So if you see your child doing something, it's your responsibility to correct it. If this is happening in the school and the school failed to do anything, I would sue the shit out of them. I'd sue the shit out of the whole entire school board, because the only thing school boards understand is money. It's not that their money's going to buy your child back. It'll never give you back what you lost. But what it will do is it changes the school board and how they handle stuff. And the more we get out there and the more we hold our school boards, our administration accountable for allowing this stuff to happen, and the parents. This is happening under their homes, on their computers. If parents are so separated from their child that they're not watching what their child's doing, you are doing a disservice to your child, and you should be held accountable for that. And depending on how bad it is, you should be held accountable for that on a civil level, but even sometimes a criminal level. And it looks like our government is getting on board with that, because we've watched many parents go to jail over their children. And I pray to God that is exactly what continues to happen, because this is a 10-year-old girl in Virginia that is now deceased because of somebody else's doing. And let me put a call out there. If there's any student, anybody out there getting bullied in your school, let Bullhorn Betty know at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I don't care if it's your child. I don't care if it's your student. If you find that nobody is helping in a bullying campaign against a student or a child, you reach out to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I can promise you we will put a stop to it. I will go out there with my camera. I will make a big stink at the entrance of a school off their property and on a public easement. I will let everybody know that that administration in that school is not doing their job. And I will call out your child with a photo. With a photo. I'll find a photo. There's always something out there in the public record. There's always something out there in the public record. And your child's photo will be on the picket sign of Bullhorn Betty. And I guarantee you, when I'm executing something like that, we will have 4,000 people in my chat. I can guarantee everybody will know who you are, who your school is, and who the bullies are in that school. And I hope every other content creator gets on board with this, because we say no more. We sit here every single day trying to protect our children and other victims from crime. There's not enough being done for adult bullying, and there's not enough being done for child bullying. Let's not forget, Sebastian was probably bullied in school, right? Kids are unkind. He was different. We say no to bullying. We say no to bullying. But we will be activists on the matter. We will be activists on the matter, and there is no more of a professional protester than Bullhorn Betty. We follow the law. We do it within the confines of whatever state we're in, and we will have our voices heard. And let somebody interfere with my constitutional rights. You guys see, we do fight back. We do fight back. So I have actually talked about suicide to my 12-year-old and to my 17-year-old, says Summer. I have never in a million years thought I would need to talk to my 10-year-old child about suicide. Summer and Mark Bushman said their daughter, Autumn, was also bright and bubbly. She loved to dance, cheer, and archery. Her favorite color was baby blue. Her smile could light up any room. But they say it was Autumn's kindness and generosity that stood out the most. She lived an incredibly full life. Mark Bushman echoed the heartbreak. You have the question, why? Why would a child who seems so bright and bubbly and happy want to leave? Autumn had started the 4th grade this year at Mountain View Elementary School, and her parents say that's when the bullying began. Mountain View Elementary School. Let's look up their information, their public record information for those that are outraged by this. And if anybody from the administration would like to give me a comment, I'm more than welcome, but I don't reach out to crap schools. If you would like to clear your name, I'll give you the platform to do so. But as far as I am concerned, this child is your responsibility, and you did not do enough. And that school is, where is it again? Mountain View Elementary. Pretty stinking sad that a school can't control their bullies in the 4th grade, an elementary school. An elementary school. I'm sickened to my stomach. I am sickened to my stomach. Mountain View Elementary School. We have several of them. Did they say Roanoke, Virginia? Mountain View Mountain View Elementary School in Roanoke, Virginia. There it is, Mountain View Elementary School. 5901 Plantation Circle in Roanoke, Virginia. That's the address of 24019 with an elementary public. This is a government facility and therefore required to have public information. 540-561-8175. That's 540-561-8175. And again, if you guys would like to write your grievances, that address is 5901 Plantation Circle, Roanoke, Virginia, 24019. Again, this is public record, and they are funded by taxpayers. So if anybody wants to complain about me putting that information up, I don't take kindly to 10-year-olds losing their life because of bullies in an elementary school. If you see a problem, it is this responsibility of that teacher and anybody, like I said, the school board out here in Roanoke. You're more than welcome to reach out to Bullhorn Betty as well, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. If people are in the community of Roanoke, Virginia, I can't get there. But you guys, there ain't nothing stopping you from getting some picket signs and getting out there on public easement and letting that school be heard. No child should be this. And who's responsible? Let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. This, as you guys can say, I'm fired up. This is absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. And if anybody has a problem with it, I don't care. How about that? Talk about it, run with it, say I'm doxing a school. I don't care. Let me be very clear on that. If you've misunderstood me. They said let's get back to the Mountain School Elementary. Her parents say when the bullying began, Summer even called the school to report it. Just think it's just kids, right? Just kid stuff. Nothing to see over here. Mountain View, this is on your hands, elementary school. The blood is on that elementary school's hand. I want you to understand why I am making sure everybody in our community knows Mountain View Elementary School in Roanoke, Virginia. And we'll go back to the address and the phone number. And I hope that my advocates and activists use it. I'm angry about this. They said they handled it. And that was about as far as it went. But as far as we knew, we were told, at least by our daughter, was that it kept happening, Mark said. This is an age where they have tablets, they have phones. So it's happening around the clock. They can't really escape. Mark and Summer said they talked to Autumn about how to manage bullying. There is no managing this shit when you're 10 years old. I'm freaking 46 years old and I have been the most bullied person on this platform and there is no managing it. You know what? The parents of these children should be in jail. It's so funny. You hold the parents responsible. This is not the way our law should go. But it's so funny. You make sure the parents know that they will be 100% responsible for the actions of their child. It is funny how good their children start acting. It is so funny when you threaten a parent that they may go to jail. It is so funny, the night and day difference of their own children. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Now, there is still outliers out there, guys. You know, there's still outliers out there. There are good parents out there that have kids that just are awful. But it's their responsibility to get them treatment or get them help. To get them treatment or get them help. I'm angry with this. She said, no, Mom, please don't do that. She was scared of them causing more because the bullying probably increased after she told. Mark and Summer said they talked to Autumn about managing it. Mark said he even spoke with parents directly to address the situation. However, Autumn asked her parents not to tell the school about the ongoing bullying she was experiencing. Why? Because it was getting worse. and she just wanted it to go away. A 10-year-old girl. I hope that the law enforcement and the school is expelling these people, because I tell you what, when I'm up in Tennessee and all this court stuff is finally wrapped up, I may make a trip up there. If they haven't taken accountability and have it suspended, expelled the bullies out of that school, expelled them. Make the parents deal with finding them another source of education. If they're not expelled from this school after this event, we need to bring the shit show to their town. The shit show is 100% constitutional, it's all above board, and 100% lawful. We do not break the law, but we do raise our voices. This is a 10-year-old child. A 10-year-old child that went to the schools. Parents went to the other parents. Those other parents should have their ass whooped. Literally bit over someone's knee and their butts paddled, so they understand what good parenting looks like. I know a lot of you guys don't believe in, and some of you guys don't believe in rearing your child, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm not in the same boat as you. I'm not in the same boat as you. If you guys are from Roanoke, Virginia, you need to be getting into those school boards. You need to be getting in those school boards. You need to be raising all kinds of holy hell in those school boards. You need to be fighting for Autumn right next to her parents. That's what the folks in Virginia need to be doing. If you're somewhere in and around Roanoke, you need to be going over there and supporting. That's what we do here. We stand up and we speak up. We do not go away silently in the night. Dylan. The Dylan contest, right? Criminal Minds. Such a powerful show about problems in the school. But I learned about Dylan Thomas and what's the other one? Something Dylan. Yeah, I'm in Richmond. Yeah, start writing the school boards. This is not okay. We are putting this on the pedestal on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Clip this and pass it around. Clip the address and pass it around. Mountain View Elementary School. Quit sticking your head in the sand and acting like this. And this goes for all other elementary schools. If a parent comes up there, you put those children on I don't care what you do, but whatever you're doing ain't working, especially in Roanoke. This needs to change how they handle students in elementary schools. How dare they? How dare they? They knew this situation existed. They talked to the school. They talked to the parents. It never stopped. Where are the parents in taking away electronics? Why are kids in elementary school on electronics except for school? Why aren't people pushing them outside and out the door to go play outside? Get some fresh air. Find out what it is to be a kid. This is awful. This is awful. A lot of stuff is, assumed. So factual stuff, I don't know what's going on in this. What I do know is a child was bullied and now she's dead. And people were aware that the bullying was going on. And it appears that parents were called and did nothing about their little brat children. And I'm going to say it like that. I hope one of those parents of the bullies makes it, sees my video and lets them know I called your child a brat child. I don't care if you live in $1 million house. You allow your child to bully. You do nothing about the bullying. You're a POS parent. Children don't have to be in fear of your child. If your child's hungry, feed him so he's not stealing school money. There's a lot that needs to be had, and I think this stuff needs to start trickling down to criminal action against the parents. Criminal action against the parents. So I don't know what legislatively we need to be doing, but I would definitely start reaching out if you guys have, in Virginia, and you guys have senators, any type of city council, even if you're not from this community, you're on the completely different side of the state, you need to be at your Board of County Commissioner meetings and City Hall meetings talking about this case and making sure everybody knows in Virginia that this is not tolerated and there will be hell to pay if somebody bullies a child to death. I'm angry about this. Beyond angry. 10 years old. Not even out of elementary school. Not even out of elementary school. What in the ever-loving you know what? Parents, until they get the social justice warriors out of our school, it's time for you guys to make some serious changes in your life. These are not going to be comfortable changes, but it is my belief it is time for everybody to start homeschooling their children until they get the education department under control. And that's in all states, where we have taken the majority of the corruption out of our schools by closing down the United States Department of Education. That right there is going to save us a boatload, and that boatload is going to be disseminated to the states. They're going to have more money to do things with, not less. Because think about it. For us, for our taxpayer money to go to that United States Board of Education, you're talking about millions and billions of dollars going to them. And they take their cut. Their middleman is now going to be, funneled down to the states. There's no longer going to be a middleman. And we all know how expensive middlemen are, right? You buy direct, you can save a boatload. You buy, from the store, you get hosed. You get hosed. So we're literally cutting out the middleman to funnel money directly to the states. And I think that will help. It's not going to help states that aren't willing to help themselves, but it will help the rest of the states. And if you guys start working toward, like, the way it is here is you can have your taxpayer money, my understanding, you can have, when you homeschool your children, you're taking on that responsibility. So you get some money coming to you. Our children are costing us astronomical fees to educate, crappy education in the public school system, where you can take that money, educate your child, and I guarantee your child be better educated than they would be in school. And I really do recommend parents utilizing that option if you can. You need to find out if you're able to get some of those tax credits back. Maybe it'll pay for your salary, right? Maybe it'll help offset you having to leave your job to be home with your children all day. But the nuclear family was designed so that dad went out to work, mom took care of the house, mom took care of the kids. Maybe some people don't like that design. That's okay. And you have that right. But don't you think that parents that want to stay home with their children should have that right too? And right now things are so bloated and over and costing us so much money. But you know why? Because we don't have our money. We're sending it to the government so they can squander it and put it back in their bank accounts. I don't know. This really rubs me the wrong way. As you guys can say, this is kind of organic. It's impromptu. I think parents should be held accountable. Schools should be held accountable. Everybody should be held accountable. Like, if this was my child, I would want blood and nothing less. And nothing less. And I can't imagine, nor am I going to try. Anyways, guys, we are on the heels of Sebastian Rogers case. We all know that there hasn't been any new information related to his case, new breaking news or anything like that. He's been missing since February 26th. There's no evidence he left his home. Nobody has ever seen him again since the last time any third party has seen this child was at the Texas Roadhouse right before they left, and we saw them enter a car and drive home. From that point, from the minute he entered into his home, he has never been seen ever again, or heard for that matter. And while we're not stupid, and we can know that 1 + 1 = 2, a lot of people have tried to deceive the public, have tried misinformation and disinformation campaigns. As you guys saw yesterday, that is falling to crap, right? We've got the entire hate channel squad literally eating each other apart. And why? Because they're not in it for the same reasons. They're in it for competition. They're in it for clicks and views. They're in it for financial gain. They're not in it for the benefit of any victim. And when you're not in it for the right reasons, when petty squabbles come up, you attack each other. Why? Because you're in it for clicks and views, not the child. Because at the end of the day, if you were in it for the child, there would be no squabbles. You don't see squabbles on our end, right? You don't see a whole lot of squabbles on our end. Why? Because we're all here for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, and the ones that aren't kind of expose themselves about talking about themselves, right? We just had one in the last week that kind of went off the deep end and took the Sebastian Rogers case and turned it into being all about them and all they're going through. Well, at least you can feel. At least you can be upset. At least you can feel attacked, right? Because we don't know what's going on in Sebastian's world. And so I think it's important that we have people that come up and stand up and say, hey, you're in it for the wrong reasons. Either correct your behavior or start talking about something else. There are a lot of hateful people here, and I guarantee a lot of hateful people that have a lot of hateful children that probably go to school and bully other children. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I truly believe if fatless children haven't been put in jail yet, eventually it'll be coming. It'll be coming. All the little children she has that she doesn't take care of, and how she was that single mom just trying to take care of her kids, and then we found out a man is living in her house, bopping another woman, getting another woman pregnant, and then all of a sudden it's a fight over their kid. Next thing you know, there's bruises around the child's neck and everything like that. It's just a hot mess express. Hot mess express. And that's the representation for a child that's been abused. Representation for a child that's been abused. There is no new information on here because, as Mr. Proudfoot said, we'll never find him. He said that multiple times. He said that publicly on a platform. He said that to Dog's team. He had no problem telling everybody how this is going to be. This is going to go down in history. It's going to go down in history. And we all know that although the state of Tennessee will say, hey, you know, Tennessee, in my book, is a nobody, no crime state. They haven't proved otherwise. I've looked at the history, okay? The history of Tennessee. Not just Sumner County, the history of Tennessee. There's a lot of children missing that the parents are responsible for their disappearance, and those parents are still living their life free and without fear while their child is deceased and God knows where. This is not a story that's just similar to, you know, Summer Wells. This is a story that's proliferated across the state of Tennessee. They have a lot of active missing children. And you can't tell me, and two of them, Summer Wells and Sebastian Rogers, are on them. And I can almost guarantee that at least one of those children are dead. And that's Summer Wells. I don't believe she was sold. I don't believe this. The stories don't make sense. The parents were doing things they shouldn't have been doing. That child was prey for some predator. And that predator very well could have been her father. Something happened in that house, and yes, Don Wells was home. Don Wells was home. And how do we know that? Because the boys were there. The boys were with their father that day. That's why they didn't go down to the water hole. Because who leaves 3 boys at home by themselves at their age? That's a crime. None of them were old enough to take care of themselves under the state law. So boys went with dad, girls went with mom and grandma. Doesn't that make better sense? So if the boys were there to help unload groceries, guess what? You got it. Somebody had to bring them home. Somebody had to bring them home. So I do not believe Summer Wells is alive. You guys know that. I never believed she was alive when I was covering her case. We were searching for her body. And that case has never been solved, even though we know who the suspects are in that case. Good old TBI, but no body, no crime. They can say all they want. I bet you if you call Sumner County, they would be willing to tell you, if we get this, if we get that, we're happy to do this, happy to do that. I don't believe it. Because in the history of Tennessee, outside of 1 or 2 cases, you have no circumstantial cases in Tennessee. And if somebody does, if I miss somebody, please send it to me. Thank you, Stephanie. Bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Bullhornbetty@gmail.com. And I'm not talking about the father that was convicted of his son. I don't want to hear that case anymore because he confessed to it and recanted his confession. That was a completely, utterly different circumstances of cases. But we know about that one, but that does not bode to the no body, no crime case because he confessed to unaliving his son and then tried to recant his confession. So much different situations. These parents are saying, I didn't do nothing to see over here. My child just walked off. My child just walked off. Nothing to see over here. They are a no body, no crime state, and they can say whatever they want, but based upon their history, the Tennessee history, not Sumner County's history. Sumner County's even worse than that. So I'm not even going to go there, but and we don't see any searches. That's the other part that bothers me. Where are the searches? After a year, right? They stopped within a week of searching for Sebastian, a week, right? So it's been over a year with all of their investigative work, right? They told us, oh, we're going to the investigative side. So you're telling me in a year, your investigation hasn't provided you one single spot to search for Sebastian. Not one. In a year. And there's now only one detective on the case. And we're supposed to feel what? That this case is moving? How? You have to be out in the field to get a case moving. Who's been out in the field? Who's been doing targeted searches? We've heard zilch, not even from the locals. Like, I don't trust mainstream media out in that area. They're so fucking corrupt. Excuse my language, they are. Channel 5, yeah, that lady Thompson, that whatever her name, Thompson, that always likes to, puff on the pipes of the lies of Chris and Katie. I don't trust any of them. I trust Caitlin. I trust Caitlin with Channel News. Hey, Turkey Man. Oh, sorry, I cussed. I cussed. Oh, sorry. Didn't think you were looking. And you're probably saying, doesn't matter whether I'm looking or not. But I gotta tell you, there's no targeted. That's what's irritating me the most. Okay, I can understand you went to an investigative side of things, but we should be hearing people in the community talking about a whole bunch of law enforcement out in a specific area. We've heard nothing. There's nothing. Where's the targeted searches in a year? Like you have, right? Just follow me here. So if you're doing a massive search, what's my time? Okay, I still got a few. You're doing a massive search, right? And then you decide to scale back. That's what they said, around 3, 4, or 3, 3, 3, 4. They say, okay, we're going to scale back, right? So we're going to scale back the search and don't worry. We're just going to the investigative side. We're just going to the investigative side of the case. Okay, perfect. I'm glad that they're finally not just doing this. They're going to be going to the investigative side, and they've got their dogs and their team there. If anything comes up, right? Remember them saying that? If anything comes up, we can activate like that. Remember that? That came from the EMA director. I remember the EMA director making that statement. So where's the activation? You have had this case for a solid year. You're on the investigative side. We know that they have more information than we do. We've gone over some of the factual information we've uncovered, not me, we, social media, the true crime community of social media, right? That we found out. We are smart people. We use our common sense and say, hey, if us lay people can get this much information, we have to assume the professionals should have well more than we do, right? All right, so now you have your information, you have your data. I believe within a year they should have data findings. They should even have some forensic findings coming back by now. At this point, they should have an idea of whose car was used. They should have an idea of where that car came from and where that car went to. And then there should be some type of search. Not just, oh, we want a warrant for this car. No, you now have identified an area that has not been searched that needs to be searched. Where are those searches? We've also heard, moreover, some people that were very close with Chris talking about this very specific thing, and I know this came out of Chris's mouth to them. I just know it. It's my opinion, but I just know my opinion is accurate. And that is, I believe, he's the one that says, I had to be to work at so early. There's no way I'd had a time to drive home, kill this kid, and bury him before making it back to work. Because that's what one of the people that spoke, who was that? Jay, Gaping Lake? Gaping Lake. I think she's the one that had it. Didn't we play that off of her channel? Might not have been. I'll get to you guys. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. But I think it was Gaping Lake that had that, or maybe it was Justin. I saw it on one of the channels. It had to have been Justin, because I don't watch Gaping Lake. People will clip her, and I'll listen to the clips, but I won't watch her. I won't give her a click and a view. I'll give a click and a view to Wardam Eagle or 5D or Hindsight or a number of other clip channels, but I will not give it to specifically to Gaping Lake. I don't want nothing to do with her. But there was somebody that said, that was the co-worker, allegedly, he had every detail of the case as we know it incorrect, and then he sits there and makes that line, and I said, that sounds like barroom discussion, like they're in bar seat discussions is what I said. And I truly believe that, but he said that he didn't have time to go and kill this boy and bury the effing kid, or the MFing kid. Remember that? And I lost my cookies over that. Like, I was like, this MFer has some audacity to call a little kid an MFing kid. And so the reason why I'm telling you that is because I wanted to spark, because I remember we were all pretty upset about that. So I wanted to spark that in your memory so that you have that recollection of that moment. So, bring your shovels, Sheriff's Department. Bring your shovels and backhoes. Because that sounds like more in line with what we're kind of hearing and seeing. And trust me, I thought he was in the water. But now that I'm hearing more people's statements, and I can identify that sounds like a conversation somebody would have had with one of the persons of interest in this case. It kind of goes together. And I bet you Chris is the one that had those utterances. I didn't have time to go and kill him and bury him and get back to work by 5:15 in the morning, which he wasn't at work at 5:15. That's been well accounted for. So, with multiple people from his job. And so I don't even want to hear the 5:15 time anymore. That is a absolute 100% lie. And that also proves that person that gave that information was lying. Because he knows damn well that yes, the gates are opened at 5:15, and yes, people are arriving at work, but it's not the crane crew. It's the inside the building crew. Inside the building, it's pitch black there. And you see the first level has all these bright lights coming out of it because people are working there. You got your plumbers, you got your fixtures installers, such as your toilets, your light, your lights, your fixtures. Those all things are being put in. Those are the 5:15 people coming in. Those are the 5:15. Not the crane crew. Nobody outside is working in the freaking dark. The lights are inside the building. They don't have huge floodlights shining out there for them to work. All that light is radiating from inside the building. They may have a light right there at the entrance of the gate, but that's it. That's it. So, my call is I'm questioning and I'm frustrated because of the 10-year-old. So it's kind of giving me a frustrated appearance for the Sebastian Rogers case. And while I'm absolutely, without a doubt, frustrated on the Sebastian Rogers case, at the end of the day, where are the searches? Where are the targeted searches? Where are they? Sebastian deserves this. Sebastian deserves them analyzing this and picking out target areas and go search those target areas. Why haven't they done that? When is Sebastian coming home? And when is enough of this? Like, if you need to find the boy, you know, for a detective's got to get out there to go find the boy. Unless it's just the responsibility of the public that they keep throwing in jail for trying to go out and find him. I'm just trying to make sense of all of this. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sense of all of it. All right, guys, let me go over here to thank you all for your super chats and super stickers. Thank you. Oh, wow, I missed you, Serenity. Serenity said, back in the 80s, I was bullied and my mom went to the principal and his response was teach her to fight. Quite frankly, you must be from the 70s or 80s because that was the rule, right? But nowadays, everybody gets a trophy. It's no longer acceptable, okay? People don't understand. When I was in middle school, I got in a fight. I had braces. I had to pull my lip. I actually still have a scar to this day right there on my lip, and that was from me and a girl by the name of Jessica Fredis getting in a fight, and I had braces. Let me tell you, young kids with braces, if you want to go, like, wait until your braces are off before you start getting smart mouth. I'm just saying, be wise, not smart, or smart mouth. I'm just saying, that's what I was told to, right? And then you see, I never took, even as a kid, I always stood on my convictions. I was always, even out in the streets, I never stole from people. I never did illegal conduct like that. Even when I was, in the grips of my addiction, I went through all of my money. I went through a lot of my stuff, but I never went through, I never harmed anybody. I don't know if I'll ever, like I said, when I was in high school, those three girls, I can almost name them. I even remember. I don't remember the girl's name that they were picking on, but the situation is that we had, somebody that maybe she had autism, and I just did not know what that was. But she was in our grade, but she wasn't with she was on the short bus, okay? That's what we called it back then. It's not to be disrespectful or anything like that. I don't know any other way to describe it on a live show. But there was something, obviously, that was, you could tell. She looked normal, but she was slower than the rest of us. And she didn't understand things. And she started her girly thing, right? And she didn't know what was going on with her body. And so these girls were laughing at her under the guise of trying to help her. Like, oh, you really just need to go to the nurse's office. Don't you know what a period is? Don't you know this? Don't you know that? And I was walking by and I turned around and I'm like, what in the hell do you think you are doing? Now, mind you, people knew me in that high school. I stood my ground many times and it was very public and I got in a lot of trouble, but it was what it was. And I remember looking at them. I walked her to the nurse's station. I didn't make fun of her. I didn't treat her like crap. I was ready to, trust me, I was 10 foot tall and bulletproof at 5 foot. I was ready to do something. And these were people that grew up with me since I was in kindergarten because they were all from there. And I remember, I don't want to throw their names out there, but I remember all 4 of their names. And so I walked the girl to the principal's office, or maybe not the principal, maybe I think I got a staff member to assist her and walk her to the nurse's station. I can't remember those details. But we, even back then, I didn't realize that was what was, bullying. I just thought they were being mean. That's what we called it, people being mean to one another. But now it's elevated to so much more than just being mean. These people try to destroy them mentally. Mentally. What elementary school needs to destroy another elementary school student mentally? You know what that's telling me? That's telling me that they got an effed up home. And even if they're living in paradise, something's going on behind those closed doors. Kids can be mean, but to be a bully? to be a bully? Grave crime with grace for the cuss jar, BHB, but honestly, I have been cussing more than you, so I know, it's hard not to. It's hard not to. It's hard not to show emotion when you hear of a child not even out of freaking elementary school. No. I can understand it. In middle school, you know, you're getting into your hormones, you know, you're going through puberty, but freaking elementary school is totally unacceptable. This is a failure of that school, period. There is no other explanation of that than a complete and utter failure of that school and the administration. They better be lucky I am not in Virginia and I don't live in Virginia, because I don't think they could handle the public pressure that we can put on them. I really don't. Something's got to change. Pamela Hale, it's nice to see you. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, Miss Fitz. Love how you bring the boom. Oh, thank you. Well, sometimes things just get me. There's no, because I want my audience to feel that, you know? There are some things that I want my audience to be relaxed, but when you have a 10-year-old child that is going into the ground, is going to be buried, this is their fine, because of their own hands, because they couldn't shake bullying, when the school knew and these parents knew? And then of course we roll into Sebastian, which I'm already frustrated with the case as is, because I feel like there has been no movement in the case. I want to support law enforcement, but I also want to do it diplomatically and saying, wait a minute, something ain't right here. You keep telling us you're doing all this stuff, but at this point, this is not our first rodeo. We know darn well that those cart pools, those telephone pools, all that stuff should already be analyzed. There should already be reports. They should already have this stuff marked on their map. I mean, they should have a clear-cut idea of exactly everybody in Sebastian's family and exactly where everybody in that family and their friends have been after a year and some months. They should have places to search, target search. And we've heard none of them. Now, it doesn't mean just because we haven't heard them that they're not being done. Let's put that caveat out there. But I haven't heard anything. And usually I hear something. Like I'll read something and it'll be a little blurb, you know, on a Facebook group. Oh my gosh, did you see the law enforcement presence at so and so? They were under the bridge. How many times have we read things like that? And we've got nothing like that in this case. I think it's time for a major search operation, and I think it needs to be sponsored by Sumner County Sheriff. I'm sorry, it's time. Sebastian deserves a push from Sumner County to bring him home. And, you know, let's face it, so far, he hasn't been brought home. And from where I'm sitting, I'm not seeing anybody really actually searching for him, other than private citizens. And I'm sorry, but I'm a taxpayer, you're a taxpayer. Federal funds go into almost every sheriff's department at some point in their existence. So we are funding. We are decision makers in Sumner County and for that sheriff's department. We have no voting decision, but we are taxpayers. We are absolutely, every last one of us are taxpayers for Sumner County. So let's remove that obstacle right there. Depending on how everything rolls out with Sumner County, I am going to be a voting member in Sumner County at some point. And yes, you guys heard me say that, a voting member. I told you guys that I plan on going and staying there and living there. I'm doing that because it's time for activism. It's time for somebody that knows what they're doing to go in there and be able to request public records without being hindered by state issues. You know, oh, you can't get it because you're not from the state of Tennessee, or you can't get it. I don't answer to you because you're not part of my community. Nobody will ever tell me that, because I have control and I have power to change that, right? And so once I rent a property there, I don't know if they're going to have a whole lot to say about it, but I will be doing my activism and my advocacy at their county meetings, Board of County Commissioners, as well as the Henderson City Council. There's going to be a lot that I'm going to start getting involved in if I'm forced to do it. And so that's kind of where I'm at. And maybe once I get in there, maybe some public pressure can be applied for them to get out, get out there and search for them. Because again, let's face it, we have not seen any searches from Sumner County since March. A year ago. A year ago. We don't have any places to search. Oh, okay. Well, let's look at this. Let's look at this realistically. Do you have data that has come in? I guarantee they do. Take that data, put it in, figure out what is the most probable area with the data you found that should be searched. And if they say, well, we've already searched it, then it's time for a research. Because we do have Elijah Vu, right? Elijah Vu from Twin Rivers, Wisconsin, Two Rivers, Wisconsin. They had searched and searched and searched, and then it took a hunter finding Elijah Vu in the same search area that had been searched by law enforcement, dogs, drones, helicopters, fixed-wing planes. Sound familiar? 5 different times. 5 different times. So I'm hopeful that this is more encouragement. Oh, thank you, Brianne. This is more encouragement than it is, it is criticism. It is criticism, constructive criticism. I think the message I'm wanting to get out is I want more. I want to see more. I want to know that Sebastian is as important today as he was back on February 26, 2024. That's what I'd like. So that's kind of my spiel, guys. I want to thank you all for coming out and letting me vent to you guys today about the frustration and anger I have for the family of a 10-year-old girl, beautiful girl, that lost her life because of bullies. And what makes me more angry is the parents knew. Not her, just her parents, the bully's parents. The bully's parents. A child's lost. And you know what? I gotta say to that bully's parents, why wasn't it your child? Why did it have to be their child? Oh, I know why. Because you allowed your child to go unchecked. Unchecked. Not that it should be any child. Let me get that clear. But I pray to God that this family, this bully's family, comes across this show. I really do. If you know who they are, send it to them. Because we are a family. We are the coffee club. We are everywhere worldwide, just about. We're in the Netherlands, we're in South America, we're in UK, we're in Australia, we're in Ireland. We got Phil, we're in Ireland. We're all over this world. But more important, okay. Hush. What you gonna do, killer? Get him. Are they coming in the house? Are they coming in the house? Oh, guys. Get him. Let me go. Go get him. Why are you looking at me? Why are you looking at me? Aw, Gypsy gifted. Stop. Okay, enough is enough. Gypsy gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. If you received your... Are you done yet? Okay, thank you. If you received your gifted Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Gypsy thank you. Welcome to this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club. I eat the insane asylum. Ah! So grab your straight jacket and your padded room and welcome home. We've got a new member, Hope Floats, has been around for a while. Thank you, my love, for that. And Diane, thank you so very much for your membership. Welcome to this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club. Grab your straight jacket and your padded room and welcome aboard for this crazy ride. Yeah, it was a little emotional, and I get very, very angry because some parents, honestly, I would, we don't believe in violence on this channel at all, but every now and again, I have the feeling, not that I would act on it, but I feel like, they need a slap upside their head, right? They just need a slap upside their head. Again, we don't believe in violence, and I would never do it, but I still believe, like, some of these cases, and all I got is my voice, and all I've got is my emotion, and all I've got is you guys. And so that's where our advocacy goes. And I hope some of you guys do right. I hope some of you guys do call, because that elementary school should have done more. I'm so sick and tired of them thinking, oh, it's like the 80s and 90s. Oh, it'll work itself out. Not this day and age. These people are lunatics with lunatic parents. We see it all the time just on social media alone. Remember, all these hate channels got kids, y'all. I'm just saying. I'd like to know who the parents of this child is. I'd like to look into them. I bet you, maybe they're good people, but maybe they're not. Because I tell you what, if my teacher told, or a family came over to my house and told my mom or dad I was bullying them, my dad would pull my britches down and paddle my ass right then and there. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I remember kicking a boy in his, and my elementary school teacher, she lived a couple doors down. I wouldn't recommend you being a bad girl when your elementary school teacher lives on the same road as you, but whatever. And so, she wanted to come over and talk to my dad about, maybe explaining how painful it is when your daughter hits them in that area. And so what did he do? He paddled my butt to let me know how painful it was and asked me if I wanted to do that again. I said, no, sir. No, sir. Okay. And no more knees in boy's crotch. Just saying, it's very effective. It's very effective. So anyways, I'm throwing the parents under the bus, the bullies' parents, all of them, because I don't believe it was just one person. I believe it was probably a clique of little girls that were doing this. And this is a call out to all their parents. I think every last one of them need to be expelled from school. Expelled. I think all the information needs to be turned over to the family. And I think this family needs to sue the shit out of every last one of them in school, including that school district, for failing to keep their child safe. That's what it has to do with. They are culpable because they failed to keep that child safe. So we are going to be supporting this young girl's family. And like I said, if you guys are out there in the community, this is a call to action. Go find some signs, go find a little pole, put your sign on your pole, and make sure you do it peacefully. Do not block cars, do not block driveways, stay on public spaces, and hold your sign there. Get loud. Let people know that this is not acceptable, but do it responsibly, do it safely, and do it lawfully. All right, guys, God bless. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Until next time, please be safe. But more importantly, let's not be bullies and let's be kind to one another. God bless.